They don't know about the kumbaya meetings we had this week.
Behind. Good look. 3.
You just put yourself on the map. They didn't look into your heart. They didn't look into your heart. They didn't look into my heart.
All I want to do is compete.
Without Jerry McNamara, we would have won 10 fucking games this year.
Because they came to whose house? But doggone it, ain't it good to be winners again in the
Welcome. So here's the Syracuse Roundtable. We're here. I got the Water Boy.
Oh, let's go.
We got Tyler. If you don't listen to Tyler Morona, go listen to him. It's fantastic. I actually listened to it at 3 o'clock in the morning on my way to work.
Fantastic. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hit up his podcast. We will share it on the page.
It's definitely a good listen. I try to share as often as I can. It's definitely a good listen. You were in the program, so you have insight that other people don't.
Pause for 1 second. He deserves all these kudos, but can you please introduce his lovely?
Oh.
Why don't you go ahead?
That's lovely.
Okay. This is Katie. This is Tyler's lovely.
It's me.
Yes, I was going around the table, but yes, this is Katie. And this is Kayla, the water girl. Hydration Nation in the building.
I'm Stacy.
I don't know who she is.
Oh.
I'll remember that in a few hours.
No, you won't. Cousin James.
What's up?
That's right. That's right. And we got Tim. So we have Cuse. We have Tyler's podcast here. We got the Water Boy. We got us. We're going to talk some Syracuse sports. If you have questions, just put them down. I don't know if anybody's got the live up on their phone.
Where is that?
I do, but it's behind by a little bit. So when somebody hears me say that, it will already have happened a few seconds.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you can track the comments,
just go and Cuse yourself the page.
then we're good.
Yeah, we're right
there.
there. We've had, Oh, this
Cousin
is
James.
already.
All right. People are watching.
One of them's
All right,
probably
guys.
me.
Yeah.
So let's.
There you go.
Cousin James, introduce yourself.
On the Facebook page, it's right there.
All right, guys. So we have a game tomorrow. We have a game in 12 and 4. We have a game in 16 hours. We'll be at Thorndon around 8. If anybody wants to stop by Thorndon. Tony, are we doing face paint tomorrow?
If we can buy some, I don't know.
And they'll be closed by the time we get done here. I ain't
Yeah.
going to buy face paint.
Yeah.
Pretend like we have face
I
paint.
could have bought some.
Yeah, that's right. I still got my orange. I got my orange eye black. I got my blue hairspray. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. We'll do it for the Wake game, though. That's Parents' Weekend. So we'll be face painted up.
It's
Yeah.
senior night.
So,
Wake is always senior night.
Wake,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know why that's the game.
It feels like it, yeah.
No,
Hashtag
actually,
stay woke, beat Wake.
with Michael's senior night, it was Florida State.
Florida State.
And that was probably as bad as it could have possibly gone because Dalvin Cook.
That was the Dalvin Cook
obviously
year, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All-pro running back. So, but anyway, that was,
Dalvin Cook.
You don't know about
was
Dalvin Cook. He plays in some
insane.
league. I think it's the NFL.
Yeah,
Plays
and
in
now
some
he's
league.
on every Syracuse fans fantasy football team, so
Right,
it's
yeah.
fine.
I watched him because we sit up in that upper end zone. I watched him score in my face
Yeah.
like 3 times and just made me sick. And then the next year I drafted him in fantasy football. And all was forgiven.
We're back to being on the field for that game and wondering if
That's like RJ Barrett.
RJ
RJ Barrett, we didn't want him to score last year, but now as a Nick fan, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
I wasn't an RJ Barrett fan last year. I hate all things Duke, but as soon as you leave Duke, the slate's sealed.
We can dislike all things Duke and still respect
Unless
the
you're
players.
Grayson Allen, then screw that guy.
I don't know. I
That's-
don't really subscribe to that. I don't
You're not an
think so.
anti-Duke guy?
No, I mean, like, even when I'm a huge Lakers fan, I loved Brandon Ingram, but I was kind of happy to see him go because we got a Kentucky guy who I'm totally fine with in return for a Duke guy.
Right.
So, I mean, it's fine with me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got better talent in return. If it was equal talent for talent, does it matter to you, Duke to Kentucky?
Yeah, because I don't like Duke.
But you
I'm a Tyler.
You
I
came
dig that.
in like when during the Big East ACC
Yeah,
switch,
changeover.
right?
So when I got here was literally the year that we transitioned.
So you don't have any like affinity to the Big East rivalries that we.
Well, of course.
Georgetown still sucks.
What time is it?
Georgetown still
right
sucks.
So cute.
It's 7:53, guys, and Georgetown still sucks.
Isn't that great?
But I tell this story all the time. So I grew up in LA. I grew up a UCLA basketball fan. Enormous, just UCLA fan all the way across the board. But the only other basketball team I ever watched that was a college team was the Orange. Why? I don't know. Because they just played on CBS all the time and they
Right.
were on TV. When I waited for UCLA to come on Saturday nights in LA, I'd watch the Syracuse game beforehand.
What year is this? And like, who are you watching?
I was gonna say, are you
Because
are you tying
remember
any
like
years?
Billy Owens and like Alley Oops, Lawrence Moten, like when they used to
Oh,
like
right,
play
those
pretty.
Not that old.
But For
I'm
you.
25 years old, man. Like,
Oh my
this,
God.
no.
You should have got
I'm
over this
talking like
before.
Steve Jardine,
Okay.
you know,
Okay,
like
yes.
those type of guys.
But you were a Syracuse fan before you came here, or you at least knew
You
of us.
watched them.
Yes, I was a
Okay.
Syracuse
On the West
basketball
Coast,
fan.
you still knew
Syracuse
we
basketball
existed.
fan.
Well,
Absolutely.
that goes back to the power of the Big East Conference. Like
Right,
Big Monday,
yeah.
like all those huge games.
Absolutely. No, I've
That's why I
watched
miss
them.
So as a
Yeah.
UCLA fan, so you're 25.
Right.
So you
Former
were.
UCLA
So
fan.
you don't-
Still
Former
UCLA.
UCLA.
You don't remember the
Well,
O'Bannons
right.
at all. Then,
I was gonna say, do you remember the O'Bannons, Tyus
No, I'm
Haggard?
really appreciative of Ed because he got me $1,000 for being in the
Yeah.
NCAA game.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, I cashed
Okay.
that check out as quickly as it came in and went back out.
Oh, that's right, because they went to battle like
Yeah.
they were heavy
And
proponents
now,
of.
the cool part is that hopefully that'll now be in remuneration to athletes.
It looks like it's going
you
to
get
be.
$1,000 for every year you appeared in that game. So I was on the roster for 1 year, so I got $1,000.
Okay.
That's
So
all
hopefully
awesome.
that we
Yeah,
can, kind of bring it
absolutely.
back and say if every player that appears in that game, but you have to be in the 3 deeps in order to be in that game. So
Yeah,
you have to be
okay.
a somebody,
Right.
which again goes into like, we can talk about that all day long. But,
Right.
if you're good, you should be.
You should have something.
rewarded for
Right.
it. Yeah.
That
Right.
was
But you're
long
on the
after you
topic.
were
Why don't we
here,
talk a
though.
little bit about name,
Yeah.
image, and likeness?
Yeah,
Well,
let's do it.
I
Anyone
remember.
else looking forward to
I
NCAA
think it was
football
long after.
2020
Yeah,
coming
exactly.
back out?
Is anybody else looking forward to Dolajai pimping out original Italian pizzeria? I'm all in for those commercials. I don't want to be good commercials. I want to be hilariously bad commercials.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, when I get off the court and I'm hungry, I
I'd
go
like-
to original
IEOYP.
Italian pizzeria.
Honey
And get it
garlic
large
char
cheese.
grilled wings.
Yeah.
I don't see the logic from any point from anybody who has an opinion against it. I can't find the logic. And I've tried because I'm a guy who likes to debate on both sides of any topic just so I can have information.
No one's gonna be driving around a freshman in a Ferrari.
They're not.
No
If you
one.
think they're going to be
Well,
driving
I don't know. If
freshmen
you go to
around-
Florida State, I've seen a few of those.
No, but
I think they already do that.
But our
Yeah.
our boosters and our
That's
alumni
insane.
run deeper.
So what does it change?
Put our boosters up against anybody. Syracuse
Doesn't allow
has
it.
a disgusting amount of graduates.
Our alumni is pretty
A lot of money.
top
to
notch
spend
in a
So
lot of,
much,
in a lot of
like-
We
areas.
have to give them a
Cars
reason.
and-
We have to give them a reason to give us that, though, right?
Right,
That's
yeah,
where it
yeah.
goes back to like it will pay, but it's always going to be you have to have a certain level of success because the teams that are already successful are going to continue to be successful.
Right,
right.
Somebody has to break that mold. Same
But
way
I
that
feel
Clemson
like-
came up in the first place with that, where they just trucked away at it, chipped
I
away.
feel like the
Chipped
oil
away.
tycoon in Texas is going to be less willing to give money than Vivica Fox, who graduated from Syracuse,
I kind of.
or
Joe
Tay
Biden.
Diggs.
Well, I think
Joe Biden, he loves. Joe
He loves
Biden
Cuse.
loves the Cuse.
He loves us.
James, you got an opinion?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
well, you're absolutely right because it's a model that structurally still operates from a time before there was anywhere near the amount of revenue generated. Like I remember getting NCAA, I think it was 05 on like Xbox, and like
Reggie Bush.
Heisman Trophy leading candidate. No, but it wasn't. It was like Heisman Trophy leading candidate, like
And it's a
stock
curse.
quarterback from Notre
It's like a
Dame,
sports
number 5. Like
illustrated
it was Jimmy
cover. It's a
Clausen, and you knew
Right.
who it was.
Yeah.
You
You
knew
knew who it
exactly
was.
who it
And
was.
you don't want to be on the cover.
And the
because now
first thing you
know
do
your
is change
career's
the
done.
name as soon as you got it. Like it's like it was just so like.
They interviewed,
Oh, yeah.
I think it was
Uh-huh.
Syracuse.com interviewed a bunch of the basketball players. And they interviewed like Mo and whatever. Every single one of them, they were like, what is your opinion on players getting paid? And it's not going to happen now. It's going to happen in
It's like
years.
4 or 5
whatever.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel so
And-
bad for Mo too and missing that opportunity. Welcome to Mo's.
Yeah.
Monday, get your burrito. Like
Every single
poster
one
child
of
for
them,
that
though,
works so
Yeah.
perfectly.
the first comment every one of them made was, I can't wait for like NCAA or EA
Yeah.
Sports to come out, back out with a game.
I'm not a
They
video
didn't
game
care
guy, but
about
I play college.
Ferraris.
You want yourself to be in a video
Duh!
game. And if you get $1,000 for doing
Ever!
it, yeah, like put me in there, man.
Why do you think the WWE games are so hot? You create a wrestler, you put yourself in the game.
Sean
Same
is-
thing with the
yeah,
college
Like
games.
it's
Sean
like an
Belby's
WWE.
not going to be
I
working
want
the-
to make yourself into a game.
I want to be a short, slow, middle linebacker who just gets in on kickoffs and misses a tackle. That's my
Segue.
goal in life. I want to walk on an SU,
Watch this later.
get on one kickoff. We're beating
Yeah.
Holy Cross 63-6 or something. I miss a tackle. Dino's like, go sit your ass on the bench and game over. That's
Right.
it. That's all I want.
A lot
That's my
of-
dream.
Segue into stadium sections. How do we get 327 into the NCAA 2020
Oh.
video game?
Tony's on that. Okay,
Stocking picks.
Tony's duties. I said
Tony's
duties.
duties.
Tony's duties.
So,
Just sit.
as you've heard us talk about 100 times, we sit in 327. Tony, where we sit?
Section 327, the
We don't-
electric factory.
We don't know if it's the electric factory, the hydration nation, the water cooler. We don't know yet.
I don't care what it
is.
is. I have this goal. I have this dream. I have
It's
this
the northeast corner,
Oh.
okay?
It's-
Pull out your compass when you're in the dome. It's the northeast corner. of
It's the
dome.
one where
High
everybody's
as you can
standing
get.
up.
Here's my biggest
There's
problem.
nobody knitting.
We call the dome the Loud House. We haven't truly been the Loud House except
We're
for
the
select
loud
games in
corner.
a while.
Where are you guys
So-
sitting tomorrow? Not to put your business out there.
125.
If anybody wants to find us, we'll be in 125.
Or 327.
When you get bored, come 327.
But here's
Or
the
halftime shoot up to 327.
Here's the plan. Take every diehard, take every loud maniac, take every crazy person who doesn't want to sit down or get yelled at for standing. Put them all into one section. Make as much noise as possible. That spreads like a plague. One entire section is the party section.
How does that feel as a player? Like, what
Yeah.
difference does it make
Oh my
when the
God.
crowd is into
Good
it?
question.
So-
Good question. Good question.
Does it help when you
Imagine
jingle the
this.
keys? Does it help?
Imagine
Yeah.
this. Imagine having a boss that comes in and just like MFs you every day. You
Yeah.
come in and he says, "You suck. You do this. You do that. You're
Relatable.
not
You gotta do this better.
You got to do this.
Yeah.
Like you know, your last performance wasn't good enough, and your next one isn't going to be close either. Or versus a boss that comes in and empowers you every day to go to work. That says, "Hey, what you're doing is good. Let me show you why it's important." That's what fanship is. Fanship lets you know that no matter what, even if you do make a mistake, that you have somebody behind you that's supporting
So you can hear us down there.
Absolutely.
You know the difference. You can.
It's
Do you guys
definitely-
realize
Dude,
that he
I
was
couldn't
on the
have heard
field?
it or said it better.
Hold on. Do you guys realize he was on the, like, he was
Football
in
field.
fancy
Pads, pads with a
Or
helmet
the
on.
uni.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, go. Oh my
He's
god.
still got
Let me
his
tell
number
you
is still on the
straight.
side of his
I know.
This is my buddies.
About it.
I
All
have,
right.
I have definitely Googled numbers before.
Actually, I thought
like,
that
being out
wasn't
to
your
dinner,
number,
and
but I
it's
didn't wanna
not
say
the
it.
first, like, they're like, no, I'm not like random whoever.
Yeah, I didn't think that was his number, but maybe he changed.
That's like an offensive lineman number.
This
right?
is this, yeah. That's my
Yeah, that would be
buddies.
offensive
Yeah,
lineman.
And
Michael?
to
Yeah.
piggyback
Who
off
is
of
it?
that, all these people
Michael.
who talk trash about players and stuff that shit that they say online, would you be willing to go up to someone's face and say that to them?
No chance.
Amen.
Would you
No
go up to Kendall
chance.
Coleman? Would you go up to Josh Black? Would you go up to Cisco? Would you say any of this to their face? Then don't put it out online.
I'm afraid to say
rapper.
good stuff
Hey,
to Josh
don't
Black.
hide behind,
Be like,
don't
I love
hide
that
behind your
thought,
Twitter
son.
avatar.
Did you hear?
Don't hide behind a fake
Did
pic.
you
My
hear what I
picture is
said
my
to him?
picture. I'm there.
Yeah.
I stand behind everything I ever say. I will run my mouth like a maniac, but I will meet you eye to eye, face to face, man to man, and back it up every
I feel
single
like
time.
players would receive that though too. Like if you're not being a dick about it, they'll
Right.
know. Like, yeah, I had a bad game, and they'll
Oh
like.
my God.
Yeah,
we don't-
we're not dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
coaches are
And
dumb?
he said that. Like, he went up to Sean Riley one day and he was like, dude, are you
Like, what the
serious?
hell,
And he
you
was
know?
like, I know I didn't
So
even watch
there
the
was a
replay
punt
yet.
return that I called out Sean Riley after the game. So I saw him after the game, and I walked up to him like, bro, that was a touchdown. You missed the block. I said, the block was there. You cut outside. If you cut inside, the touchdown was on there. And he pulls out his phone, and we rewatch it together on the phone.
But
That
you're
was
not
awesome.
a dick Monday through Friday.
I was respectful.
So right. But did you
And it was
watch
to his
last week's
face.
podcast yet? Say yes.
The
even if
first
you didn't.
15 minutes. Yes.
Okay.
We need to start
I-
breaking it down.
I said to him, watch, Carlos Vettorella is a freaking redshirt sophomore, and that
Redshirt freshman.
redshirt freshman, and that dude is serious. His senior year, he's gonna be walking through Destiny, and there's gonna be some knucklehead that was like, "Stop! Oh,
Can I get a
shoot, can I
selfie?
And I won't be mad if Carlos Vettorella goes, if you show me 2019's tweets, I will give you a
Yeah,
selfie.
we're good. We're good to talk. Yeah.
That's it. If you show me your 2019
I
tweet
won't be
thread,
mad at all. And if the person he made me show, you can't be mad.
right? Don't hate on the kids.
Don't
man.
hate on
Like,
a 19-year-old kid.
Do you
So-
think that we forget?
we hate
too?
on-
Like, we know exactly
Or
who's
that you
who
don't
everyone
hate on
is.
position.
you know everybody.
Oh.
Everything.
And
So
your
answer
mommy
this for us,
doesn't
then.
see it. I mean,
Because fans everywhere will argue back and forth on this point. So answer this from a player's perspective. Do players read social media?
Yeah, of course.
1,000.
Right?
and
If
you
you have a social media page,
Do you
like,
read
it
positive
doesn't-
and negative comments?
because like now social media like it curates to your page. Like even if you don't follow somebody, it will just populate on
Right.
your feed.
Yeah, it's
So-
that algorithm.
Yeah,
that's set
exactly.
up,
Like
yeah.
because it knows like okay, like again using
you turn
Josh
off
Black,
your alarm and it
Right,
says
like-
"You suck" by James Smith, who delivers pizza at Domino's.
It's gonna.
Oh,
find
okay,
you.
great.
Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
will just
It will
find
find
you.
you.
And most of the time, people just tag you.
James Smith at Domino's delivers.
No, I love Domino's.
I'll
But they
mention
need to
it.
pick on a
I'll mention to Kayla, like, oh, hey, we're out of
Yeah,
toilet
yeah,
paper.
next
And
time
then
you come
Facebook is
over.
like, hey, we have a deal on Charmin for you. You know,
Oh,
$29.99.
yeah,
We'll ship it next
Exactly.
time. It's like,
So they
It's the same
see
thing.
all of it,
It's-
right?
I'll say I
because
want brown
it-
boots,
it-
and
it gets
Facebook's like,
sent to you,
oh,
like no matter what. Like,
yeah.
you do see.
Shoot,
You
how
can't
do
miss it.
know?
So we have this discussion because there is a certain demographic of the fan base who believes that, players, well, they shouldn't be reading social media. No, you shouldn't be talking shit about them
right.
if you've never strapped a pad on in your life.
But can we constructively criticize?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
You can.
You just can't be a dick.
Fans. It's fans.
Right.
It's part of being a sports fan.
You
because
can-
we all participate in
Like,
sports
remember
because
that
we
one
love
that hit you
sports.
in the hand?
Well, hey, here's my
and
thing,
then
too.
you didn't catch it. I find myself the last 3 years saying at least twice a game, catch the fucking ball. Like,
If you
it
touch
hits
it,
you in the
catch it.
hands.
Yeah.
Your job is to catch the ball. If it hits you in the hands, you should catch the fucking ball.
But if every week you say the blanket statement, the O-line sucks or whatever, then I don't respect you when you
Yeah,
criticize.
without digging into it and finding
I don't respect
out
you when you
what-
We've all been
criticize.
victims too of putting stuff out there in the heat of the moment. Like we don't think before we hit that tweet
The
button
knee-jerk
or that send
reaction.
button.
So
like
here's-
for the longest time, I was just such a
Nobody
dick to
should tweet for
kickers.
3 hours.
I was like,
before
oh, you have
the
one
game.
job. You're a kicker.
Let it
So then
sit.
do no. Well, here's where I changed my attitude. Especially
Sometimes
recently.
you have to.
So I got the field pass. I'm down the field. People that don't know, like hours before the game, I'm down there. We're rehearsing stuff. So they're doing this like field goal contest, and they're like, "Hey, Tony, you want to go out there and kick a field goal?" Sure, no problem. A 25-yarder, mind you. I try to kick a 25-yard field goal. The football went 10 yards. My shoe went 16. It is hard, man. It is on a tee.
It's hard to get the ball
tee.
in the air.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
I mean,
Yeah.
Can
So
either,
such
can
big
either
fans
one
of
of you?
Hall.
Speaking of
Hey.
getting the ball in the air, can everybody go on and vote for Sterling?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Dude,
if you haven't voted
my
for Sterling
hand-
yet, go vote for
My
Sterling.
hand literally hurt when I went to bed last night. I put in 130 votes for him
I
to get him
Facebooked
ahead of
his
Jalen
sister.
Hurts.
So he's up for senior award, some senior
I'm
award.
gonna vote for him right now.
And she put it on Facebook, and we voted, I don't know, like 500
And
times.
then they
in a
kept
row.
coming up with the click all the boxes with traffic lights. I'm like,
Is,
I can't.
is
Sterling, you
Sterling
got-
Hoffrichter our MVP so far this year?
Dude,
He beat MVP on any team he's on.
Heisman.
A lot of why the defense is good is
Sterling
because
Hoffrichter for
field
Heisman.
position.
That's not a
When
bad
we
call.
get stops,
Yeah.
it's
That's
because
not a bad
The
call.
dude is
Pimpy?
solid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's the most quiet, dude. I was
I think he's the MVP at the halfway point.
he
Yeah,
is
he's
just
Sterling, hey, you get Sterling Cuse approval. midway MVP,
And his
Sterling
beautiful-
Hoffrichter.
I
His
think he has like the
beautiful
most
sister-
universal approval rating.
His
out of any
sister
player,
Erin
too.
is so quick to sibling rivalry him out. She
Sorry, Aaron. Sorry.
She Facebooked me. She's like, he doesn't deserve
Yeah.
this at all, but I
We
guess
got-
go vote for him because she's just a
Harper
fun
says,
sister.
Where are we voting for him?
I will. Did you not put it on Cuse yourself?
There's a link. I believe there's a link on Cuse Yourself. If there's not, we'll
I'll get it right now.
share it right now. It is under my personal page,
Nobody
and
cares
it's
about
on
your personal
Twitter
page.
under Cuse Yourself. If you go to Twitter, I definitely shared it on Twitter. I may not have shared it on Facebook.
So I have this theory as far as
Uh-oh.
Hoffrichter.
Oh, okay.
I believe his leg is part adamantium, like Wolverine, because it's just not possible how hard and how far he kicks that ball. And I don't think we need the crane outside. Just let him fucking boot one through the ceiling and take the dome down. Take the roof
But,
right down.
and not only that,
He's gonna hit a speaker.
Queth Craney be damned.
so
Yeah.
there's a level. There's a lot of guys in the world that can kick the ball a long way, right? Kicking the ball a long way doesn't make you a great punter. Sterling has the
Kathy
ability.
Ireland could kick the ball a long way and unnecessarily rough.
She could.
Unnecessary roughness.
Sterling has the
required
ability to
be
kick
great puncher.
the distance exactly required to allow the punt coverage team to make a tackle.
Nobody ever.
You can outkick your coverage. There's a lot of guys in the country that can outkick.
Nobody
their coverage.
outkicks his coverage.
He never outkicks his coverage. Never.
Well, he threads the needle.
Yeah.
He puts it right on that sideline. The right bounce on it. It's
He's
just,
unbelievable.
And to that
He
point
pulls a string on it.
is
Dude,
the
yeah.
way that we
Fastball
can
changer.
label this season. If it could go wrong, it will go wrong. He kicked one out of bounds a few weeks ago. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like
That is
to
how
see that
that
was
is
insane.
like that is to bring together. If it could go wrong, it will go wrong in our season.
And I love
Um,
giving Hoff so much love and Belinsky, the long snapper, and Schmidt because like you never talk about special teams unless it goes wrong.
Oh
Linsky
wait!
can
like,
run-
Oh,
never.
we're
Or
missing
it goes
one.
really well.
We're missing a
Or-
special teamer.
One-
Nolan Cooney.
We're missing
Hey,
Nolan
baby.
Cooney. So
This
the
dude
one
is
guy
a beast.
in
Easy there,
all of
sexual
special
predator.
teams,
Sorry.
the one guy in all of special teams that is probably the most
He
taken
is
for
an
granted is the holder. One drop from a holder, and you'll know his name for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
One drop.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you shouldn't because the guy probably
Scott
caught 15 in a
Norwood.
row.
Or wait, what was his real
He
name?
was the kicker.
Norwood.
Scott Norwood.
Seems like
we
Never
not-
played another down in
Can
football.
we not bring that up, please?
Yeah,
Or-
great. We
or a
just lost
guy.
every Bills fan.
Oh, by the way, back to the conversation about players from teams you hated playing on teams you love. I was a student when Frank Gore was on Miami, rolling us, and then as a Niners fan, what am I gonna do?
and now you can watch the Bills, and he's still
He's still tanking.
What do you got, Tyler?
Football is a sport where I don't actually subscribe to that. It's every other sport. Actually, basketball is the one where I'm like,
I'm
actually
it's more like an
fan.
interpersonal
Right.
game to begin with, and like.
So are there players that when you were at Syracuse that were played against Syracuse that you just won't watch whatever team? Is there anybody that sticks out from that?
Jameis is pretty close because he just sucks. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to watch him play.
Wait,
in the
wait,
NFL.
wait! I
Like,
gotta eat a W.
yeah, it's not so much that I don't like him. It's hard to actually physically watch him play in the NFL. So that's kind of a roundabout answer.
And I hate to hate on a kid for choices they've made as they were a kid.
He's no
But
longer
Jesus
a kid.
Christ,
He's an adult.
Jameson. Like, he made bad choices from 18 to 25.
He stole shrimp.
Jameis.
He stole
Jemiah.
Publix.
Jameis.
Who
But
the hell?
Not
yeah,
Jameson.
sure.
Obviously, he just wants a pickleback.
And
I'll
that's
take a
fair.
go back.
But
No, I just don't want
the one guy that trips me out, one of the best guys that I've ever seen play football in general was Sammy Watkins, and how he just can't play in the NFL at all is beside me. He was
I don't
literally
understand it.
the second best football player I've ever seen. Number one was Aaron Donald. It's not hard to figure that one out. And I don't like Aaron Donald just because he played on Pitt. And
Right.
now he plays for the Rams. I'm a Cowboys fan. It just doesn't. We
All
always
of
lose to
that
the
was
Rams.
wrong.
Like, it just compounds time after time
Yeah.
around with him.
You're just giving me all the
But
reasons.
he was
to hate you.
dominant. He was dominant.
But I
Like,
respect
the
the hell
guy
out of
was
him
insane.
because he's probably Aaron Donald is the best football player that's playing currently in all football right now, like pound for pound. So
Yeah.
I have to respect him for that.
The man practices with a guy trying to cut him with knives.
And
It's insanity.
Exactly.
What?
Like, you've never seen those videos?
That's his hand fighting.
machetes. Yeah.
So
for hand quickness.
A guy
You
comes
would
at
take
him
him
with
over Khalil
knives,
Mack?
and he has to try to like get around him.
What happened to
block.
that?
Take him over Khalil Mack.
Overalls, you know what I mean? Like,
Barely, but yes. Barely, but
Barely.
yes.
Well, because Aaron can rush up the middle.
Yeah.
I
Right.
have not seen Khalil Mack consistently rush up the middle and actually defeat 3 NFL linemen at once.
Right.
So
Yeah, Aaron Donald just physically is the best football player in the NFL right now.
who do you feel worse for? Khalil Mack on the
Bosa's looking
Bears
pretty good right
or
now.
Nick is
My poor little-
she's awesome.
Punkin AJ
Go
Green
Niners.
on the
He just
Bengals?
swims upstream.
So he was an Ohio State guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Ohio State's one of the
Speaking
teams.
of
Oh,
Ohio
speaking
State,
of Ohio
Wait,
State.
Ohio
hold on, let me
State,
take this one.
Chan may be the best D end in the league right now.
Speaking of Ohio State,
He's been great for
is
two
it
teams.
necessary to attack Junior
Gregory.
for choosing Ohio State over us? Or can we just maybe for a second think he doesn't want to follow in the shadow of his father? He wants to carve out his own path, and Marvin Harrison Jr. wants to go to Ohio State. It's not a testament to how bad our recruiting is. I'm sure senior or junior or both or nobody was like, listen, what? He wants to carve out his own path. It's cool.
All right, let's take it one at a time. Tim, is it okay that Marvin Harrison Jr. went to Ohio State?
I think there's a way deeper reason for it.
You think there's a deeper reason?
Dino was a coach that developed professional quarterbacks,
Mhm.
right?
Dude,
That's-
Jimmy Garoppolo just scored 30 on my against me in fantasy
I
football.
mean, Jimmy's got the advantage of going to the Patriots and the Bill Belichick.
49.
Niners fan, Colts fan, yes.
Right.
Hopefully, we develop some
that?
future Tom Brady's
Why?
because they came from that system.
Joe Montana.
I feel like
Is it okay that he went there,
I
or
don't
did
know.
we fail in recruiting?
You're not in the court of law. Just answer.
We failed in recruiting?
well, I don't think that
You can cast your vote however
Well,
you want.
I don't think he felt that he would put up first round
NFL
numbers. Like he wants to be a first round draft pick. He
Okay.
wants to
Right.
get paid that money to be. His dad's one of the best receivers that's ever stepped
Ever
on a
played.
football.
But can you imagine
Like
being
you got
him?
a legacy
Hang on.
to live up to.
Oh, sorry, I know.
You want
I
to go to where
interrupted.
you have the best chance
To make the next level.
to cement the legacy, to be a part of the legacy. And I felt like he looked at it as he has a better chance to do that at Ohio State than he does at Syracuse.
Cousin James, is it okay that he went to Ohio State, or did we lose him? Was he ours to get and we lost him?
Well, here's the funny thing. I only just learned about this the moment you said it. So I'm guilty
Breaking
of not
news.
always following like recruiting news that deeply.
Okay.
You know,
Brand
not
new
that I'm
information.
aloof to it completely, but
So
It's
you
a
need to
lot.
follow the
that's why we
Shermanator.
need to follow the
Matt
Sherman.
Sherman,
Matt Sherman.
yeah.
yeah.
Hashtag Matt Sherman.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out.
No, but I understand what you're on.
Jacob, I
It's
just
bigger
shared it
than
into
just
the
the
group.
question this itself. So if you want me to address it, I think that you can't I'm never in any position to question the personal familial decisions of a 17-year-old and their 15-year-old,
He's still 16
and their
He's a junior.
family. You know, so I
He could be
could
16.
see his point of view of looking at it, but like, you know, every person is an individual, and they
My
want to
knees
carve
look
out their
fat
own
on
legacy. And you know,
OMG.
if the nuts and bolts were better for him in his eyes, then that's his decision to make, and I can't question that. I mean, we're going to have our shot at incalculable amounts of awesome receivers.
Hashtag big words.
Big words.
Oh, is that a thing? Hashtag big words.
It is now.
With the offensive system that we're trying to develop and see, and that we've all seen.
Did your testicles just drop? What the hell just happened?
He's
My point being,
Holding back,
we're a Power 5 program with a great outgoing coach with a personality who is up front about mentoring people into adults and with a great loyal fan base. And we're going to have a run at any number of great potential receivers from here regionally or whatever. So like, yeah, would it be so cool to see Marvin Harrison Jr. on the field? Like, oh my God, because all I can think about is 41-0 versus Clemson on New Year's Day. So I don't forget that, Clemson fans, when we smoked you on New Year's Day, we blanked you out McNabb to Harris.
47?
47. It might have been 47.
47-0.
Yes, national
I always say it
television
was
on New
44
Year's
just
Day.
because it feels good. I always say
Tigers.
44, but I'm
Last
pretty
time
sure
we
it
played
was
on New
47.
Year's Day. We
Yeah,
still
that was in
smoked
like
their ass.
89.
So, but back to the point you
I was
were
in
talking
Constantia
about
watching
here.
that game. Yes, I
You know,
was.
it would be great, but you know what?
But it's okay.
That's how it happens. I mean, if you can't be a Syracuse fan and not have your like emotions toyed with,
Guess who else
regularly,
didn't go to
so-
their daddy's alma mater? Peyton Manning. Oh, I think he turned out
All right,
right.
go, Chris.
Yeah,
All right,
go
so
ahead,
30 seconds left.
unpopular opinion.
He's lying, by the way.
I'm a big fan of unpopular opinions. So there's a chance in my mind that if I'm Marvin Harrison Jr.,
but you're not.
I'm not. If I'm Marvin Harrison Jr. and I look at the Syracuse fan base and their standard social media outrage, then I say, the first time I'm not my father, this fan base is going to freaking crush me.
Yeah.
Freaking.
It's a lot of
I stopped.
because we're salty motherfuckers.
Right.
It's possible my
Because-
nephew's watching words.
So there's a
words,
chance that Marvin Harrison Jr. said, you know what?
I don't want to do
I don't
want
want to be I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So rather than put myself in a
Ding,
situation
dang,
where
thumb
one
warriors.
drop pass makes me the enemy of half the Syracuse fans. The problem is half the Syracuse fans are the ones on social media who speak the loudest.
Right.
So maybe he said,
Wait,
you know what?
real
I'm
quick,
going to go to
sir.
Ohio
I
State.
speak the loudest.
You
on
do
social
speak the
media.
loudest.
Thank you.
But you get what he's saying. The negative
Right.
people are loud.
So maybe he decides to go to Ohio State where the same potential mistake doesn't land him the same ire from the
And
fans.
who knows? Maybe as a freshman, he rides the pine more than he wants to, and he comes here, or he doesn't, or whatever. Who knows? Who cares? This is a young man who can make his own decisions. Maybe he doesn't want to be in the locker room and have other wide receivers like, oh, if you were Marvin Harrison's son, you wouldn't. Like, whatever. Just take all of that
Say-
out of it.
He does go to Ohio State
Sure.
and scores 12 touchdowns his first year.
Good for
and
him.
Catches over 2,000 yards.
I'm cheering for him.
Can he go to the NFL as a 19-year-old?
No.
No.
Why not? Too big? Too fragile?
No, well, I think
Like-
you have to have 2 years, right?
Three.
Three in high school.
Okay.
Three.
So that's why, because it's the
Should we
law.
consider doing 2 years?
No, most of the time they're not big
Those are
enough.
so
With the whole
different.
push with CT and all
Is
that,
it
I don't
like
see
an
them
age
changing
thing?
that at all.
You can go
Because
to
you don't
XFL.
want
Yes,
to
you
be
can
you don't
get
want to be
CTE from wearing
19 with a
headphones.
developing
That's where you can
brain.
go, the
can't
XFL.
play.
Well, no,
You
I'm
might
just
have
saying though,
13
like
or
they'll
14.
speed it. They'll get players
I'm just,
younger.
I don't
and
like the
not
whole
physically
football's the only CTE argument that comes
That's
from
not my
people
argument
because-
at all, though.
Okay.
Well,
It's just
Sorry.
like NFL opened themselves up to more
I
liability.
just saw that and
All
ran
right,
with
who's
it.
next? All
What's up, me?
This got serious quick.
right, let's go. We already know where you stand, but is it okay that he went to Ohio
It is
State?
absolutely okay. You know why? Because he's a 16-year-old, a junior in high school. First of all,
He's 16 or 17.
and I'm sorry, I
Wait, no,
don't.
he can't be a junior and committed, right?
You can commit whenever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's verbal.
So
Verbal.
regardless
What are
of
you
where
doing?
Daddy
Probably
went,
14.
it's not like he's out of touch with Dad. Dad has talked to him, and Dad has talked to Syracuse, and whatever. But you know what? He's a 16-year-old kid. If you're a 16-year-old wide receiver, I don't care who your father is. If Ohio State comes knocking, and he had like 5 schools that are
Elite.
He's going to be able to probably be able to play for a national championship in 2 years.
elite
They're gonna at least be
ESPN
in the playoff
primetime
consideration
games, and they're all
for the
knocking
next
on his door.
6 years, easy.
Go, baby. Do you.
Go do you.
Have great times. And he'll still wear orange every once in a while when he's hanging out with his dad, and that's okay. We'll get wide receivers to fit into our deal, and they won't.
Well, I mean,
His
listen,
dad's only been back once since he graduated.
we'll be
was
fine.
also
We'll
what
be
I was
fine.
about to say is, I
What
don't
about all the
think Mars
students
is
from Christian
really,
Brothers
like-
who didn't stay in?
He's not big
it's
into
okay.
following
You
the
know what I mean?
program.
Like,
You know what else is good? In
Park
3
didn't
years,
stay.
we're gonna freak
Paul
out
didn't
all over
stay.
the universe because Carmelo's son's gonna be a junior in high school, and who knows what's gonna happen then? Like,
I don't care. Carmelo better come to Syracuse. Next.
but
I don't give a shit.
Carmelo's by that time, Carmelo's son's not going to have to go.
He's not going to have to.
Exactly.
You're right.
So that's
Yeah.
that's
And I'm
be
cool with
awesome.
that too.
Well, that's be awesome though, because they're going to get Carmelo's son, Dwayne Wade's son, LeBron's son. They're all just going
All
to
at the same time.
league. It's going to be awesome. That's the biggest bullshit rule in the world, is because
So-
the way to make college basketball fun again is by not actually having to show how far above NBA
Yeah,
players
no
are
more
compared
worry.
to
Right.
basketball
When
players.
you're ready.
Let
You don't have to have a
Zion out
watered
of the
down
NCAA.
system,
and then
being
and
like-
just bring back college fun.
it
But
will
then-
actually be a viable product that you can sell, because like, no, these guys actually want to be here.
Yeah.
You know, and then you'll get multiple guys that actually want to be seniors.
And then you got well cohesed teams that are like more operable and they're better. Like,
And that
they'll be
makes
more
a better
fun.
product.
Better product.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
And whether that's higher level basketball or not, it doesn't matter, because then the floor gets raised.
Mhm.
And what we're seeing right now is the disparity between what the floor and the ceiling is, and the difference is what makes it no fun for me.
What are,
Right.
your thoughts on the
You're a
baseball
big
rule where
basketball
you
guy.
could go directly into a professional
I love
subsystem?
that.
But if you stay in college, you got
You
to
have to
do
do 3 years.
But,
I
but,
like
but,
that.
but, but
I'm
it's,
a
it's
fan of
assuming you
that.
will be
Did they say
developing into a
baseball?
player during that time. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Yep.
baseball's got such a.
Could you see that apply to
so
basketball?
much
Do you think,
more.
or something?
But there's so many more, because
But they
with
have
junior
to
college
do a way better
baseball,
job.
you can go, like, if you go to a junior college, you can get drafted off your high school senior year, your freshman year, and like any year that you are not at a 4-year institution or you have signed a scholarship to play at a 4-year institution, you can still get drafted. So you're still taking away those guys that are only concerned about professional
But then they
baseball.
still go to AAA, and you know what? People don't yell at them for being losers of the universe.
I mean,
People
they
go
kind of
to
do.
one year.
I feel like AAA fans are more brutal than.
But you
We have the Syracuse M word here now, and I'm a Braves fan, so I'm brutal to our own home team.
Hey, I
You
live
get
where
a
there's
kid that
rumble
comes here for
ponies,
1 year,
okay?
though, and everybody wants to attack him for being the worst person in the universe because he's going to the G League. Dude, he's making like $100,000 a year. Calm down.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh,
if you-
wait. Let's get on that real quick, because
Now
like
it's
these
actually in the
people
NBA.
are like, oh, you're just gonna go to Europe and you'll make $60,000 a year. Bitch, that's more than you make at your job. And he's playing basketball.
And he's doing something he loves. Imagine that.
Pay,
That's not a job.
travel.
I'm sorry, he's making
It's a
60
profession.
grand and he
It's not a
plays
job.
And
It's not a
he's,
job.
and he's touring Europe.
And they're loving their
Oh my
life.
God. What a
Yeah.
what a horrible decision. You really should be in your economics
You know what?
101
And
class.
what are they?
I've said this for a while.
21, 22?
You know when I graduated? I went to college 132 times. I graduated at 31 years old.
If you're gonna criticize a
I mean-
kid's decision on like going pro or where he's gonna go, if he's gonna play in Europe or everything, tweet me
You're
your
the
tweet.
biggest- you got the biggest dump in your pants in the world. Like,
My
it's just
dad
the
played
way-
No,
baseball
but
until he was 28.
Here's what I want you to
Tried
do.
play baseball till he was
If you're
28.
gonna criticize a kid, send
out
me
great.
your resume. I want to see what you
Right.
have as a history, where you went to school. I will go on Indeed.com and I will figure out where your next profession is.
Yeah.
If you're gonna criticize a kid, let me criticize you.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just some 35-year-old in your mom's
When
basement.
you're separating hangers
out.
at J.C. Penney's, like
Even if they're not, even if it's
Well, the spoiler,
a
Jason
partner
Penney's
in a
pretty much out
law
of business.
firm.
That's wrong.
everybody.
Do you, boo?
Do-
Do
Oh
what
my
you
God,
do.
I'm
Play
in
the
love.
sport.
I am in.
But even if it's
here's my
not
number
some
one goal.
35-year-old in their basement, even if it's a partner in a law firm,
Yeah.
I don't care. Because you know what? If that
Everyone
law
wants
firm
to do
came
that.
to you your junior year of undergrad and said, you know what? Don't bother finishing your
Yeah.
undergrad.
Hi,
Don't
Mark
bother
Zuckerberg.
going to law
Yeah.
school. We will train you the rest of this. You know what that freaking partner in that law firm would have done?
His name's
Drop
Mark.
the F out of school.
His
I'm
name is
trying
Mark
so hard.
Zuckerberg,
Right.
and he is like in
stop
Bali
banging on
right
these
now.
kids for chasing
Well,
dreams.
here's the thing, too. If that guy's working at the law firm, have you actually ever gone up and looked at those diplomas? How do we even know they're real? They
Right.
just hang on the wall.
Shaq
University of
has-
American
Shaq has a
Samoa.
diploma.
That's where Saul Goodman got his degree.
There
And
you go.
and Boeheim has said numerous times,
Yeah.
any of these kids can come back and get their diploma whenever they want.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
Go ahead. You got something. You got
The
something.
Too.
The shelf life on an athletic career is not the shelf life on your real career
No.
or your
Right.
second
Yeah.
career.
Well, not
That's-
even
that's-
1%.
Exactly. It's that most NFL guys, 2 years, 2 games. That's your career. That's the average career. If you're only doing 2 years and 2 days at a job, and that's the end of your real career, then you got a real problem,
problem.
right?
Right.
Exactly. So what you have to maximize a window, and that's the thing that people don't get is because, well, I have to get to where I want to go. It takes 30 years. It's like, no, actually for some kids, it takes 30 days.
Right. Yeah,
You know, it's from the start of the combine to the draft. That's your that's your window of trying to sell yourself, doing your job interview. And it's like, if that's too hard to understand, then that's okay. Then it's like, okay, well then it's white noise. You know?
Right.
And that's
There's
really
nothing
what
you
it
can-
is.
yeah.
Can
And
I
being
go-
annoyed by that is okay. I get it. But it's like, at some point you just got to be like, you know what? You know, your opinion is not valid.
It's not valid.
Can I go completely off topic for a second?
Wait, hang on. I got a point on
Okay.
Harrison to finish it all up.
He's going
I
to be
think-
competition for me.
I think Tim mentioned it before too. I was going to bring up this point. How connected has Marvin Harrison Sr. been with the Syracuse program? He's been back, what, maybe once?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah.
We see
So
it
it's not
networking
like
him,
he
yeah.
lives and breathes SU. He played, what was it, the middle to late 90s? Like,
Right.
he hasn't been back to SU in like,
Early 90s.
yeah,
94.
20, so he hasn't been back in 20,
and we
25
appreciate
years,
his
except for
career
once.
at SU.
Fun
and
fact,
his
you know
goals.
whose son does play for Syracuse right now? Kevin Johnson.
Oh, I thought you were going to say right.
Kevin Johnson Jr.
He was the one that tweeted out, I wish we could have the other junior or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was now Marvin and Kevin Johnson played together. They were receivers. Kevin Johnson actually was a high school quarterback, came in, played receiver. But now his son is here. I actually don't know what year he is. He might be a sophomore. But like legacies do come. Some legacies
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Do you know, too, how hard Syracuse recruited him? Like,
I don't know how hard they
were.
recruited
But we also
Well,
don't
here's
know.
the
I mean, he's a
thing,
top 10 receiver. You would hope that
We don't
we
know
went
what
after
happened behind the
him, like-
scenes. Maybe they were like, stop
Well,
spending your time
You
on
say
us.
behind the scenes, and here's another point, too. I'm big on giving second chances, but, like, let's look at Marvin Harrison Sr. and some of the things he's done allegedly with guns.
His decision making may not have been the best.
Yeah, maybe that's not something, you know, they don't want him around the program so much. I don't know. Maybe that's a part of it.
All other things aside, if Tyler Maroney Jr. doesn't come to Syracuse, I got problems.
Katie?
We beat
They're
him.
probably coming.
Are we gonna name him Tyler Marona Jr.? That's the real
His
question.
name is
TMJ.
TMJ, yeah.
TMJ. If
But-
TMJ doesn't come
We
to
do
Cuse, we
have
got
the same middle
problems.
name, so it could
That
work.
is true.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna say
TMJ.
Mark the Harrison's probably spent more time in the Midwest, and he's probably more familial with the Midwest
Yeah.
than Syracuse in general. Like his home is probably Indianapolis.
Yeah, I would
Right.
assume.
So that being said, he's like, well, I don't get why I have to feel that as well. Like my dad he lived most of his life in Colorado, or like his young adult life. I got a scholarship to play for CU,
Mhm.
and my dad was like, look, you know, they're terrible. Why would you want to play there? Like the better option for you is to go to Syracuse.
Yeah.
So like even my dad didn't trumpet the cause
Some
for where he
people
was
are
from.
not
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
it's like sometimes it's just a wiser choice. to
same
go
for
on
my
That's a
dad. My
better
dad
choice.
had a full ride to play baseball at Louisiana Tech. I don't think he never pushed me to go to Louisiana Tech. Like it just doesn't.
That's a
it's
big
not
baseball school.
always, It is.
That's like big
That's
time
where he
baseball.
played baseball. Yeah.
That's
so it's
big
like,
time baseball.
Not everybody.
We did
is
not know we
married
were
to
in this.
their-
Oh my God. We are
Yeah.
in the presence of all sorts of
Well,
royalty.
Tyler played a little baseball.
Yeah, Tyler played baseball.
Tyler played a
That's
little
how we met.
baseball.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you guys met.
If you guys have like a co-ed softball team.
No, they played
I played
baseball.
Shit, do you guys
softball in
want to
college.
join a co-ed?
I already played slow.
Sign me up, man. You guys are on my team next year.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes!
So
Got some
completely,
natural athletes in
so
the house.
completely a different direction.
Well, we've taken all the
When
turns.
you were a freshman, obviously, like
Sophomore. But I
when
transferred.
you were.
You transferred from JUCO.
My apologies. Your first year here. That's when I consider your life has started. That was the day you were.
You're
We
nothing
had
before
no idea who you were
Syracuse.
before that.
Well, to this, yeah, to these colors, for sure.
You're nobody.
As far as my heart is concerned.
I totally get that. I'm not-
So the medical staff was like, whatever, you've had concussion issues. We're going to medically make you ineligible for the football team. What? And it makes me, I am no threat, love bug, but it makes me freaking love you to a million pieces. But I just want to know what goes through your head. Obviously, my husband's leaving at this point, so we can just chat. What went through your head to stay here? Like, because there was another school that maybe could have, like,
Great
medically let you play. There's
Yeah.
other players that have gone to other schools and like this dude won't let me play, this dude will.
Well, Luke Arcianega was a guy that did it in the reverse. Like he
Mhm.
was at Nevada Reno, and he was disqualified there, and then Syracuse cleared him to play here due to concussions. And my neurologist actually told me, like, hey, you know, are you planning on making a career out of football? Because I've had guys come in and try to, like, you know, fight their way back onto the field. And by that time, I was just like, look, you know, I know what a great institution like Syracuse is telling me is not a lie. You know,
Right.
it's probably the truth. And if they say that, hey, look, we are looking out for you, then
Yeah, they're not just telling you to be a
they're
jerk.
not fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the big things that I
Oh,
believed in.
thank you.
And another school might sell your clear to get you to play to help them, but to
Yeah,
hurt
and
you.
like in Colorado would have been one of those schools that may have. And I used Colorado. I had an offer from plenty of schools, whether it be Maryland, West Virginia,
Right.
Other schools. It could have been any of those schools I could have looked into playing football for again. But when I signed to play here, that was my commitment to never play at another college football place again. This was where I wanted to. This is what
You
I
have
worked
a
for my
good
whole life.
mommy.
So,
she's the best.
and when I signed, and I almost tried to backtrack
Very
my
lucky.
commitment originally too by just go take all my 5 visits, because I only took 2. And so when I
What
tried
was your
to,
runner-up?
Miami.
Oh, good question.
Let's go!
We got him!
Not of Ohio.
We beat
Miami
the
of
spring
Ohio.
break capital of the universe.
Coral Gables, right?
What
Not-
happened
not
in
Buffalo.
high school, dude? Why did everybody come at your head?
High school?
Well, it was just when we visited Miami, I just took one look at the campus. Like, this is a shithole, man. It's like,
Let's
oh,
go!
20 times.
I was like, there's no way in the world I'm like being a student here. This place sucks.
He
Like,
still loves Miami.
I love the
He
city.
still loves
It's awesome.
Miami.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You
The
still
South
like
Beach
Miami?
is
Yeah, you think-
unbelievable. It's
Yeah, you
unbelievable.
think college kid, you want to go where all the college girls are in like nothing but dogs all day. Like,
But the college girls here are
Yeah.
unbelievable too. Like, the college girls are college
The
girls.
dudes aren't
you know what I love
straight.
about college girls?
Oh, wait, can we just
Seriously.
realize for a second, all of you Cuse fans out there, we just realize for a second that he came to Syracuse and the Miami campus was a shithole.
Well, it is.
Somehow
It
we
is.
weren't the shithole.
That's all those
Syracuse
people talking about
campus is so
recruiting and
nice
weather. Like,
comparatively.
go to Miami, yes,
Syracuse has a beautiful.
Did you have a
campus.
lot of
The buildings, the
concussions in high
diversity of
school?
architecture.
It's everything outside of the campus that sucks.
So
Maybe
okay,
I-
so
I love
obviously
upstate
you
New
followed
York.
the football. So like
Maybe-
Eric
I don't
Dundee
know.
clearly was
Can you give me a bottle of orange
whatever
vodka?
concussion.
This one right here.
So is
There you
that
go. It's
what
like anything else?
possibly
the
kept him out of
seventh.
the draft in your
mean, the-
opinion? Like
the
they didn't want to
what?
touch that, or
Is that
I mean,
legal?
he's
Can I
with
pour
Cleveland
liquor
now.
on
He's
live
not
film?
practicing
You
Cleveland.
did.
And consistent.
We're not. This is live
passing
streaming. It's
was
not
by
film.
things that
Okay.
he didn't put together
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be
games where he was
live if it was
showing
No, it-
accurate
people have
throws.
done a
How
whole
many
lot of
like
things live.
concussions do you get
Okay.
to
This is okay.
tell you can't?
In the ACC, you get 3 documented
I didn't
concussions.
know.
One more, even though
Yeah.
those were high school,
See,
obviously.
I didn't
they,
tell him what I had prior. I just kind of showed up and was.
and then they did a head
Sometimes-
scan, and they're like, "You're not telling us something."
It's
No,
not always-
I said I didn't tell you the truth.
Anyone in the
I was super
NCAA,
messed
they
up.
know. It's like I played Division III NCAA softball, and like I had one, and it's like it's
Did you get a
documented.
softball
They
to your
know.
head?
Well, I fouled them like off my face, and I got a concussion.
Give
so,
me
like,
the
but
address.
they know.
Amgen says
Girl can
hi,
take a hit.
everybody.
Oh, Amjen, I love you. Oh my gosh.
I'm Jen.
Amjen, you are my favorite. I love you.
We
so much.
miss you guys. Hi,
You're the
Hannah.
one
Hi,
that was telling
Clay.
you that we met in Maryland or met in Virginia and became like best friends. That's
Oh, there you
Amjen.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm Jen and Clay and Hannah. They're the best. Diehards. They drive.
Everywhere.
They drive up here for. Well, heck, they've been to what 3 home
Yeah.
games, 3 Syracuse games already up here
Yeah.
from
They're
Maryland.
awesome.
Like it's a hike, and they
And we
come
just
up. They're
rolled up
awesome.
on them in the grass.
You know,
They're
you guys
diehards.
talk about concussions too, and like some of the people who are like the leading studies on like brain injuries and CT and stuff have talked about too. It's not even just concussions; it's like the mini concussions, like all on all.
that
the
you don't
little
even go
hits.
to the doctor for.
Especially a lot. Yeah,
That's
just
what
like-
What happens when you
Yeah.
drop an apple on the floor, right? It gets a little bruised. Like,
yeah, that's your
when
brain.
you get hit in the
Your
head,
brain is
like,
floating in water.
But
just
can
a
the
little soft
doctors
spot.
also start looking at kids that go to heavy metal concerts or wear earbuds all day? Because they're
Yeah.
going to be in just as much trouble,
Yeah.
or soccer or MMA or whatever. And I'm not
Just
dissing on anything, but it's there's so much emphasis on kids. Like I just saw an article the other day that Pop Warner should be canceled because of CTE. So now we want kids to go as a freshman in high school and all of a sudden play and not know how to
I
defend.
think-
Okay, I'm gonna
I
call
think-
time.
We've talked about this.
That's what
Like
I
when
did.
we
Go
have
ahead.
kids,
My first day of football ever
are we
was
gonna put
freshman
them
year
in
of high
football?
school,
Yeah.
and I wound up getting plenty of scholarships, and I did just fine.
But do you feel
Flag
like
is an
your
okay
bo-
alternative?
but maybe
Yeah.
your body wasn't
No, the thing
physically
is
prepared, and that's
but
why you
Stacey,
had no.
You're gonna get
what they're
like
trying to
concussions
do.
anyway.
What they're trying to
until
do
you're
is
21.
flag until what 12 or 14.
That's fine.
When the body's
But
ready.
CTE is
Yeah,
more
But
than
you're not ready
football.
then either.
No.
I became a man at 19, and I wasn't prepared for
Oh
anything
yeah,
really
dude.
before.
Yeah.
Right now, I know that I'm in my physical prime at 25 years old. I feel it. I jump higher. I run faster than ever before. And
Do you have PF Flyers?
Man.
Do you have any eligibility?
These,
I will.
these lucky youngins,
So-
man.
But long story short,
Tony
is
is like
I didn't
coming up.
I didn't start actually maturing physically until I was 19. That's honestly the day. Like, you should start playing football.
All right, so I'm going to use that to
That's just how
segue
the
back
human
to
body
So
works,
let
Syracuse.
your
too, how it's
child play
developed.
Pop Warner football.
Physiology.
Hang on, so we're at like 42 minutes. We're going to
Alright,
segue
and
back to
I
Syracuse.
I take that with credibility.
All right, hang on, babe. So I'm going to use that physical. We're at like 45 minutes. People stopped watching 20 minutes ago, babe.
Hey, focus.
There's
Make 'em
5
quick.
now.
She don't focus. People stopped
I'm
watching
talking to
20
my
minutes
friend
ago.
Katie.
Okay, so you didn't mature until 19 or over,
Don't
right?
blame people not watching on me.
So,
Oh, they'll watch later.
Play back in.
so let me circle that into Syracuse and talk about how our offensive line right now is starting a true freshman in Matthew Bergeron,
Right.
who, mind you, doesn't have a true freshman body, 6'4", 311.
But he's still 19.
Kid's a monster. He's still 18.
But coordination matters too.
Right, and brain matters.
Right, exactly.
So we shouldn't be saying that he's a
A lot
loser.
of kids that age
and
don't
should
know how to
somewhere
use
else.
that.
No way.
Size.
There's no way. It's
No,
impossible.
you
There's
can't
no
like
way.
you can't like
Because you also
Oh
don't
my
have
God,
the
do
mental
that again.
capacity
Yeah.
to your point. Yeah.
Well, and think about offensive lineman too.
camera.
So when you're an offensive lineman and you're in high school, you're the biggest kid like in your entire district. You never play anyone.
So all you
anywhere
have to
close
do is
your
like
size.
stand there.
You come to
and-
college, you step into
be
D1
bigger.
football, everybody is your size.
Right, in basketball,
Everybody
you
knows
have
a huge
Luka, you
gap.
have
No,
all
when you're a
that.
freshman,
Football, you don't.
everybody's better than you.
Yeah.
Right.
You're now the worst player on the team.
Right.
So Carlos Vettorello is a redshirt freshman,
Right.
and he's the guy right now on the current offensive line that catches the most heat.
And I love you.
And
I think
yes,
he's okay. I think
does he
he'll be
have
okay.
some footwork issues? Yes. Is he a redshirt freshman? Yes. The kid might be 19 years old. These D linemen that we've faced so far, even including Florida State, who doesn't, their technique might not be the best, but they're freaking big.
Yeah.
But Clemson,
Big,
Pitt,
big.
NC State, these guys are not only big, they're well coached, and they were all upperclassmen.
Right.
We start 3 underclassmen. As a guy who played D-line, if you were going to head into a game and you knew the guy across from you was an underclassman, freshman or redshirt freshman,
You're going at his throat.
you feel like you have an advantage, right?
No,
Let's be real.
it's not even that. Like, you plan all year being like, I cannot wait for this game.
And your coaches tell you that, yes?
Like, people are like, D linemen are circling Syracuse.
I'm gonna
being like,
eat this
That's my
fucker
game.
alive.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry I cursed.
That's
Damn
adding
it.
the stats this week.
And
Good
the
point.
coaches are
Good point.
telling them that. So it's not the. I'm gonna stop.
Even what's his face that Dakota?
Yeah, I think Dakota's a sophomore.
Redshirt sophomore.
Redshirt sophomore.
So,
Oh my God!
His girlfriend at CrossFit.
Stop right now. This poor
actually, we've met Dakota's
I'm not gonna
parents.
let you take
Dakota's
it
parents are
home.
awesome people. Dakota has more knockdown blocks. So there's only so many stats, for those who don't know, that offensive linemen are truly judged on.
Right.
One of them is knockdown blocks. The other one is snap count, and that's only for your body.
Right.
How many hits your body's taken. As far as
start.
knockdown
Oh,
blocks
that's
go,
False start. Yeah, that's
yeah, false start. But
Yeah.
No, I will
We're
not.
talking a few
I-
stats for
Wait
the
before
I
line.
will not disagree.
or
disagree with
blocking
know it's a man
stats.
downfield.
Blocking stats. As far as knockdown blocks go,
That hurt.
Oh,
Dakota
we-
Davis
no,
is
we watched
on
that
pace to
play.
have
I'm going to talk about it.
almost
mean,
twice as many
I'll talk
knockdown
about it
blocks
later.
as anybody on
Think
last year's
I'll
team.
talk about it later.
Dakota Davis puts people on the ground. And Stephen Bailey had a fantastic article on Mike Cavanaugh this week. If you haven't read it, read it because it may have swayed my mind a little bit.
I met him today, actually.
Mike Cavanaugh?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
coach.
Could have gone the other way.
And
He fell out of a block and tumbled down.
so he's got – I didn't know a lot about him. I still – just from what I read, because Dino doesn't let his assistants talk to the media. The guy's coached everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Did you have that
has
question?
NFL players in – what'd you do?
I'm just getting to DNA sample. It's
All right,
fine,
real
it's fine.
quick. Am I the only one that's worried that like Stacy's going to commit some like NCAA violation, like
I
Lori
have-
Fine did with players or recruits or
I
something?
have all their DNA in my bedroom.
You are hashtag sexual assault, sexual harassment to a T.
Yeah.
I am so concerned that
Wait.
like you're just getting inappropriate with some 18-year-old
You're
friend.
concerned with mine?
I'm very concerned.
You're the most
Very
inappropriate
concerned.
human being I've ever met. You're
Episode
concerned
one.
with
Yeah, but I'm not
me.
trying to Lori Fine anyone.
I just wanted to rub and be.
I feel like as
That makes
long
you
as-
Bernie. How does that feel?
I feel like as long as we're there to watch, like I'm okay with it.
I did say hi to Lisa.
Hi.
Oh, Lisa, you're my orange rock, and I love you.
Hey, Red, what's up?
I didn't do anything but just possibly touch his DNA. It's fine. It's fine.
Stop saying DNA,
So-
you creeper.
Right?
This is an
Thank you.
episode of
We're not gonna talk about
CSI.
the time you may have talked to those
really young.
Right?
Oh
So,
my God.
Oh my God, Tyler.
Hey,
So listen
no,
to the story.
no, we're on camera.
So
No.
listen to this
Oh my
story.
gosh. Oh my gosh. No, stop.
Maybe we shouldn't tell the story.
All right.
Babe,
I'm
So-
sorry, you gave
Tell
me a
that.
You were
shot.
saying,
We had a good time
You
one
had
day.
if you
You've
come
been
up to
trying to say
327,
something.
we'll tell you.
You've been trying to say, what were you trying to say?
Oh,
What
look
you
at
got?
Tyler being.
No, nothing. I'm just sitting here.
Somebody's got to
I
be
thought you were trying to say something.
We're gonna do the turkey drive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You were trying to say
Here we go.
Yeah, can we?
Here we go.
Yeah,
For
you
those-
want to get the turkey.
For those who are still here with us,
And you're gonna lead the next episode
I
with
like
this too.
that.
because-
Yes.
3 in the morning.
for those who are still
I could
with
do
us,
this for
God bless
3
you
days.
all. Eric Devendorf, the beloved Eric Devendorf, is doing a turkey drive. That's right.
Whoa.
For the,
He's not
for
pregnant,
the
he's
local
a
Syracuse
turkey.
guys.
We have a turkey.
Skipper.
Picked it from Wegmans in Johnson City, Southern Tier, New York. See Mary Jo Graham for all your cheese needs. That's my mother.
Oh, Mary Jo Graham.
Oh my
Tell her
God,
to tell her to
Mary
give me a
Jo.
logo of the store. I'll put it on the podcast.
Mary Jo, come sign the wall.
Oh, yeah.
So-
MDOT.
Okay, so here's what's going on. So Eric Devendorf is doing a turkey drive. He'll be collecting on the 25th and 26th of this month. He's going to take the turkeys, whatever he gets. His original goal was like 50 or 75.
Oh my gosh, I'll get that in a day.
He puts it on Twitter, and inside of 2 hours has 100 already donated.
Wow.
So now we're just looking to
Turkeys.
let's just feed the people that need to be fed, guys. Like this is common sense. If you have $15,
Gobble Cuse.
Everyone
Gobble
is
Cuse.
entitled to a
Gosh.
tryptophan high.
Hashtag
Okay.
gobble
oh my
Cuse.
God, gobble juice it is.
Kayla,
There's mouths to feed. There's
Turkey
mouths to feed. There are hungry stomachs.
There's
we gotta,
people.
we gotta put
And that's
legs and
what's so
mouths.
important.
This Thanksgiving.
Legs. We gotta
Mouths.
stuff
We gotta
some
put
turkeys.
legs and
We
mouths.
gotta stuff
We gotta, yeah, we gotta,
So wedge heads. Babe,
Oh.
we gotta
Here you
put
go.
birds on tables. How about that?
He said let's put legs and mouths.
So-
that is the most important thing in life.
I like the gizzard.
Yeah.
Come on.
So the entire point of what we do,
If there's anybody that knows about putting dead birds on tables, it's a
It'll
couple
be on the
Cowboys
After
fans
Midnight
right here.
show.
right? Thanks.
You're welcome.
Not family.
So for those of you who followed us for a
Tyler,
little
we'll
while
record that video
and
later.
listen to Cuse yourself, we're all about fans and bringing people together. Like
And-
that's what we
and come
love.
over for
Like
dinner
this
if you
right
want.
here is what we live
Oh
for.
my gosh, dude, Tyler
Right.
Corona knocked on my door. It took
What's
me like
that?
18 minutes to even look at her.
What?
Turkeys.
Let's go.
144?
444.
Stop
Let's
right
go.
there! Look at all those fours! 4, 4. Oh, stop right there.
All right, so listen. So this is what we're about. We're about bringing fans together and creating a family. The family, we are the wedge heads.
S parenthesis 10.
Stick with me, babe.
I'm talking to Cousin James.
I know. So we need to donate turkeys.
CJ.
So if you're still watching this, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna cut this.
Nobody's watching.
Edit this. I know nobody's watching. It's okay.
We have 6 now.
How many?
We'll watch later.
They turned their phone on and went to bed. They may watch that.
Just
All right.
cut
Oh, that's
clips
what we
later.
need to
I'm
get
gonna
to
just
our
cut
live.
clips.
I don't care. I'm having the best time of my life. I don't
All
care
right.
who watches.
Right, but I still need to be able to edit this at some
Look at
point.
all my best friends.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do.
We've made it.
The turkey.
The turkey.
Oh, honey,
Thank you,
made it the
Tyler.
minute you walked in.
Turkey.
So wedgeheads, we need to get turkeys. If you have $20 extra to your name, go buy a turkey. Bring it to Cuse yourself. We will get it to Devendorf at hashtag.
Don't bring it to the tailgate tomorrow morning.
No.
bro.
No, we'll-
Oh my God, don't.
Like,
We'll eat
actually,
it.
it would
Right.
be because it's supposed to be cold. Anyone hear a weather report for
It's
tomorrow?
supposed to not
Like
rain.
50.
Not rain.
50.
So that's
So
like
it's gonna snow.
that's what we're looking for.
No, no
Supposed to be good.
precipitation.
As a person from the South, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be fucking cold.
It's not gonna be cold.
It's gonna be really cold.
Did somebody say
You ain't
50?
seen nothing
Yeah.
yet.
I think it's supposed to
50
be
and no rain?
That's good.
Dude, I'll
That's
take
like-
that in November any
That's,
year.
I'll go swimming.
Dude, that's
Fuck
kilt
yeah.
weather. That is
Yeah,
kilt
dude.
weather.
You're obviously
Let's
from
go.
the North.
It would be actually. It would be a terrible shame if there was just like a Thanksgiving dinner for the tailgate tomorrow morning. Nobody do that.
Extra
Tyler,
gravy.
don't
show up
Extra
to
gravy.
Nobody.
for the brand. Hashtag gobble Cuse.
Hashtag Tyler
Cuse.
Verona will show up for cranberry sauce.
All right, so here's how we're gonna end this, guys. You ready?
Don't do that.
All right, here's how we're
I
gonna
got
end
some
this.
in my fridge.
Babe, hear me out.
Okay.
This is how we're gonna end this. We're gonna go around the square table.
But can we hit stop and just keep talking?
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure, fine,
Why don't we
but
just keep
I gotta go to
going?
the bathroom.
What are we ending with?
because people stop listening.
gotta
an hour
go.
ago.
We still gotta go to
Chris.
Well, I have no. We should.
What can I cook
Hey,
for
keep
you?
Chris, what are we ending with and
Oh, I
start here?
can't cook.
What's that?
What are we ending with and start here? I'll set the pace.
All right.
Oh, God.
So here's how we're gonna end.
My best friends are leaving.
We have a game tomorrow,
Or we'll be here tomorrow.
noon, at the Dome.
Oh,
The Loud House.
Winner!
so excited.
Water boy.
Yo.
Who wins? What's the score?
Oh,
Hey, a lot of pressure
Cuse
here.
27, BC 24. Schmidt happens.
Schmidt happens.
Schmidt happens.
All right, Tyler. Who wins? What's the score?
2-0 Cuse.
Oh yeah!
And Josh Black
Love
is
it.
safety.
Love that.
Safety.
Who gets the safety?
What's this?
The only guy, I tease him ruthlessly online, but I shook his hand today, and I want to give you a shout out. Thank you for being a good sport. Kendall Coleman gets the
Oh,
You got
well,
to meet
show
him
you the
today?
picture later.
Was that?
You got to meet him today?
Yeah.
What a
Hey, shout out to
great
Nikki
guy.
and Kevin.
His parents are the best.
Nikki and Kevin, shout out to them. They're amazing.
2-0 would be the ultimate cardiac Cuse game, too.
Oh,
That would be
I'm not good at that.
Not gonna do it.
Kendall.
Not gonna do it.
Hey, honestly,
I'll do it.
after
Okay.
super
17 to
appropriate.
14,
Wait, hang on.
Oh
It's
my
not on
gosh,
you yet.
wow.
Right here.
Horseshoe.
Oh, I'm really not good at this. I'll copy you 27-24.
I like it.
Syracuse, because of course I want
Did you say
them to win.
Syr or Sarah?
Syracuse.
Okay, never mind. That's another
How are you
conversation.
supposed to
That's
say it?
another
Just say
It's
conversation.
Sarah, like Sarah Smiles.
No, that's a whole nother
Sarah?
episode.
Yeah. Syracuse?
Oh, Sarah.
But it's a Y, though.
Oh, this
Nobody
is
cares about that
definitely-
Y up here.
Sarah.
I'm sorry,
And
not me to
Tom
open that
Cruise
can.
named his daughter Surrey, and he grew up here. So, I mean, you
Sierra?
can take that.
Sarah.
I mean, we call it
Syracuse.
Sarah Lee, so
Like
it's
Sarah.
not like
It's Syracuse.
Oh,
Syracuse
no, I don't know.
radiation
I'm from California.
unnecessary.
All right, babe,
I'll
who
say
wins?
whatever
What's the
I
score?
want.
Syracuse wins 21-17.
Ooh, I like that.
You give no love to Schmidt. How dare you?
All right,
No, Schmidt's going to have his feel.
I have Syracuse winning at 31-20.
Wow, okay.
I think that we finally put our offense together. We're going to put some points on the board.
Cousin James.
James, what you got?
3 Schmidt field goals and like a climactic touchdown drive, and we win by a score of 19-14.
Okay.
Okay.
Syracuse
That's
or
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Syracuse. Like Sarah Smile by
Oh,
Hall &
Hall
Oates.
&
That's what I said.
Hall & Oates. What a
Sarah.
great concert.
Smile.
I've seen him twice.
Oh, we
what
just
a
saw him.
great
We'll
show.
talk about that in a minute. Go ahead, Tim.
TP.
Score.
Listen,
Yo,
the
it's
salty,
initials are
the salty
TP.
side of me wants to be truthful about this.
So be truthful.
You're in our
the
basement.
last BC game at home that I went to,
Yeah, I know.
Okay, let's not
I
forget we
went
had
out
BC
and
last year.
smoked
Time to drink.
12 cigarettes during the game because it was the most boring thing I've seen in my entire
Those
life.
kids do not deserve
We
that from you.
won 17-14
And that's what you're going with?
in this boring ass fucking game
Bring a full
that I
pack.
didn't even want to be at.
Then bring a full
And
pack.
since nobody picked Boston College, I think they win 17-14.
Ew! Get out of my house!
I got $5.
Really, yeah. Bye, TV.
And to think I wore these jeans for you.
They do look good.
How you want it for me?
Everyone,
Wow,
hey,
I'm
it
hurt.
wasn't for
It was
me.
me, not
Everyone likes those jeans.
That was good television, everyone. I think.
Wow, I'm hurt.
Well done.
All right, guys. So,
Somebody had to be the
Yeah.
Why not be this early guy?
You are the yeah.
all right, guys. So that's what we got. We got a
Sorry.
whole bunch of Syracuse and a guy whose initials are TP giving us the shit. So
Turkey.
And Tyler Morona was in our
From
house.
Syracuse.
go check out Eric Dievendorf on Twitter. Gobble Cuse. Hashtag Gobble Cuse. Hit us up. You can DM us. You can DM Eric Dievendorf. If you have a turkey or want to buy a turkey, come get it to us. We'll collect it. But that's what we got for you today. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go with one last thing for you guys.
I'm going to go with one last thing. Madeline, where are you?
Where did
We
she go?
miss you, Madeline.
All right, so one last thing, and we'll start with Tony one more time.
The whole time.
Just a really quick Syracuse basketball blurb. It's a yes or no question.
I didn't do it.
Does Syracuse basketball make the NCAA tournament? Yes or no?
Oh my
Fuck
god.
yeah.
Yes, Tyler.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Under the radar, which is exactly
Yes.
where we need to be.
I
And
say
not-
yes.
Yeah,
Not
nothing
no
salty
bubble.
about it.
Oh, I have the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no bubble.
We're
No.
cool. This is the year where we just like go to the national championship.
Yeah! Let's go!
Under the radar, set up to fucking win. That's it. Let's go.
This is that year. This is that year. Right here. Nope. This is that year.
Cuse yourself! Let's go, guys.
Okay.
Da, da, da. Chris,